Friends, every week, we work hard to bring you terrifying animated horror stories. If you enjoy our channel's tales, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss our latest videos. Milin lived in Shanghai with her loyal dog, Bao. She was originally from a small village, but after her father's death, she moved to the city to support her mother and younger sister. Milin was gentle, sweet, and loved her job at a toy shop. Dolls were her passion. Her apartment was filled with unique dolls collected from around the world. One day, the shop received a limited edition shipment of Labubu dolls. They sold out instantly, but Milin had secretly kept one aside for herself. This one was different. A golden Labubu with sparkling blue eyes, long furry ears, and an impossibly cute smile. She hugged it tightly, took dozens of photos, and even introduced the doll to Bao, her dog. But Bao's reaction was strange. Instead of wagging his tail, he growled, then barked furiously at the doll. His body stiffened as though he sensed something dark. Milin brushed it off. He's just scared of new toys, she thought. She placed the doll on her shelf and went to bed. The next morning, Bao barked at the doll again, tugging Milin toward the shelf as if trying to warn her. Frustrated, she locked him in the bathroom before leaving for work. That day at the toy store, Milin was unrecognizable. The cheerful girl who treated customers with kindness suddenly snapped. She yelled, argued, and even insulted a customer. Her boss, shocked, fired her on the spot. Confused and humiliated, she returned home in tears. Bao ran to her, tail wagging at first, but froze when he saw the Labubu doll. That night, as Milin cried herself to sleep, she heard something. A laugh. A strange, high-pitched laugh echoing from the corner of her room. She sat up, heart pounding. In the dark, she saw a figure watching her. But when she turned on the light, nothing. Only the Labubu doll, grinning from the shelf. But Bao refused to stay in the room. At night, she dreamt of a horrific creature. Its rotting red body crawled closer. Long claws scraped against the floor. Its smile was filled with jagged teeth. It reached out to strangle her. She screamed and woke up, but the nightmare wasn't over. The Labubu doll was sitting on her chest, its smile wider than before. She shrieked. Bao burst into the room and tore the doll apart with his teeth. Shreds of golden fur littered the floor. Shaking, drenched in sweat, Milin threw the pieces into the trash. She hugged Bao tightly, relieved. But the next morning, the pain began. Her head throbbed, red marks spread across her skin like bite marks, and Bao had vanished. Frantic, she searched everywhere, hall, kitchen, balcony, nothing. Finally, in the bathroom, she froze. In the mirror, her reflection showed the same rotting creature from her nightmare, smiling behind her shoulder. When she turned around, nothing. Only the Labubu doll. Whole again. Its smile no longer cute, but evil. She ran out of the bathroom screaming Bao's name. When she returned to the kitchen, her blood ran cold. The doll stood by the sink, its tiny hands smeared red. Beneath the sink, she found Bao's lifeless body, torn apart. Milin collapsed in horror. Desperate, she searched online. To her shock, she found countless reports. People around the world were being haunted, cursed, even killed by their Labubu dolls. Victims lost their jobs, their health, their loved ones, and some, their lives. Shaking, Milin decided to end it. She burned the doll to ashes, sealed them in a jar, and threw it into the river. That night, she called her younger sister, crying, telling her everything. For the first time, she felt safe. "It's over," she whispered. But the next morning, neighbors found Milin's body in her apartment. And beside her, untouched, sat the golden Labubu doll. Milin collapsed in horror. Today, many believe the Labubu doll is more than just a toy. Some claim it is a vessel for a powerful demon, perhaps even Pazuzu himself. Countries have banned its sale. Priests have attempted exorcisms, but even now, stories of cursed Labubu dolls continue to appear online. Friends, what do you think? Is the Labubu doll truly cursed? Or is this just another rumor? Tell us in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this story, subscribe to our channel for more terrifying horror tales. This is not just a story, it's a nightmare that refuses to end. There was once a family who had just shifted into a new home in the city. Among them was a little boy named Wilson, innocent and playful. One afternoon, while exploring an old flea market, he found a strange-looking toy, a Labubu doll, with wide glassy eyes, a cracked smile, and fur that felt oddly real. Wilson instantly fell in love with it and begged his parents to buy it. They agreed, not knowing what curse they were about to invite home. At first, the doll looked harmless. But within a few days, strange things began to happen. Plates would crash to the ground on their own. The lights would flicker without reason. At night, Wilson would hear faint giggles coming not from outside, but from his very own room. And then, the doll's smile began to change. Slowly, subtly, its grin grew wider every night. Wilson told his father everything. His father dismissed it as a child's imagination, but to keep Wilson calm, he promised to throw the doll away. That night, he kept it in his study, planning to dump it the next morning. But at midnight, a loud crash shook the house. Wilson woke up to his father's terrified scream. He ran downstairs, only to find his father lying unconscious at the bottom of the staircase, and the Labubu doll sitting quietly on the top step, smiling. Wilson's mother rushed his father to the hospital, leaving Wilson alone. He sat trembling in the living room, refusing to go back to his bedroom. He dozed off on the sofa, but when he opened his eyes in the morning, the doll was right beside him. Terrified, Wilson begged his mother to throw it away. She tossed it in the garbage outside. Wilson thought it was finally over. But that night, the rocking chair in the living room began to move on its own. Wilson stared in horror as the Labubu doll slowly rocked back and forth on the chair, its eyes shifting, following him. The next day, desperate for answers, Wilson returned to the flea market. He found the old guard who had sold them the doll. The guard's face turned pale when Wilson mentioned it. He revealed that every family who had taken that doll home had suffered illness, madness, financial ruin. One family even abandoned their house altogether. The doll, he said, was cursed. But Wilson's nightmare had just begun. He took the doll to school one day, planning to leave it there. His best friend, Chris, picked it up and started joking about it. He laughed at Wilson's fear until, out of nowhere, a baseball came flying at incredible speed and struck Chris's head. He collapsed instantly. The sharp edge of a broken metal rod pierced his skull. Chris died on the spot. Everyone believed it was an accident. But Wilson knew the truth. The doll had claimed another victim. That night, Wilson tried to destroy it. He tore it apart, burned its pieces, and buried the ashes. But when he returned to his room, there it was sitting on his bed. This time, it laughed. A hollow, bone-chilling laugh that echoed through the walls. The next morning, Wilson's body was covered in bite marks, as if something had gnawed at him during the night. His parents, now terrified, called a priest. The priest took one look at the doll and froze. He whispered that it was not a toy but a vessel, an object carrying an ancient, evil entity. He performed a ritual and sealed the doll inside a heavy iron box, burying it deep underground near the market. For the first time, Wilson's family felt safe. They moved away, leaving their home and city behind. But the next day, news spread that the priest had died in a sudden car accident. Wilson never saw the doll again. Yet, even today, he dreams of its smile, growing wider and wider, laughing at him from the shadows.